What's going on, everyone? Conservative Video Dipper here. Trump did a speech not too long ago, and we're going to play it so that y'all can hear it. I want y'all to hear this because I think what our president is doing is really good work. Hold on, it'll begin shortly. Loading, 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 loading.
Good evening. Before we begin, I'm proud to report that our country is safer, stronger, and far wealthier than it has ever been before. We are doing great.
Hold on.
Years ago, we inherited an economic and social disaster. Inflation in 48 years, the wide open borders with millions and millions of people pouring in from all over the world, including criminals of all types, and 11,888 murders, many of whom killed more than one person. We had transgender for everybody, men and women's sports, crime ravaging our cities, and the whole world was laughing at us as a nation, but not anymore.
And that is so true. A lot of that, of what Trump just said, is absolutely true. And it's devastating that our country is dealing with that, or was dealing with that.
2 years ago, our country was dead. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world. America is respected like we have never been respected before. We have more money being invested in the United States than at any time in the history of our country.
And this is the sad part about this, guys, is that this is going to piss off the Democrats so badly. This is going to literally break their brains because they're not going to understand how Trump is absolutely doing a fantastic job of keeping our country safe and doing what he does.
More Americans are working today than ever before. This week it was announced that inflation saw the largest monthly decline in more than 6 years. Just happened.
Okay, so I do like how Trump is discussing a lot of this, but what I would like to see a little bit more from Trump is him showing stats and where he's getting all these information from. But I do like that he's given us good information and telling us, yeah, good things are happening now. But I do want to see a little bit of, like, a chart or something that can be put together to show people, hey, this is where we were once at. Now this is where we are.
Just
a little
given out. The media reported it, and we accept it. The best in 6 years. The tax cuts in our great, big, beautiful bill are saving hardworking families thousands and thousands of dollars. Like with the provisions, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, along with the interest deduction on a loan used to purchase a car.
Wait, hold on. So a lot of the Democrats at one point thought that Trump was trying to take away Social Security. Not true. He's not trying to take it away from everyone. He's trying to take it away from people that are misusing it and abusing it. But also the no tax on the social security thing definitely is going to be good for people. I can see that benefiting people that really do need social security.
But only if that car is made in America and a 100% expensing for our job creating businesses. Our stock markets are at their highest point
I don't know what our stock market is today. I'd have to look that up. That'd be very interesting to see that one.
in many years, but we can actually say of all time. And your
It was great. It was the biggest thing. Sorry.
401ks, pensions, and retirement accounts are setting records every single day, the highest in history.
Wow. And this is absolutely going to piss off the liberals because the liberals are going to disagree with it and say, no, none of this is happening. All these people that hate Trump, that don't understand this is what Trump really is doing. He's doing all of this, but you are all pissed off at him because you don't like what he's doing or what you don't know what he's doing. You have no idea what he's doing, but he's doing a lot of good things for us in America and he's helping a lot of us Americans. And I think this is a great thing that he's doing. Again, we'll maybe later talk about whether I think he deserves another term or not.
For years, we paid the highest price for prescription drugs anywhere in the
did.
world.
Yeah, we did.
Now we pay the lowest price under my most favored nation's policy because I was able to get the rest of the world and the pharmaceutical companies to act responsibly. Drug prices are coming down by 70, 80, and 90%. TrumpRx.gov. This will ultimately reduce the cost of healthcare. You have to go to TrumpRx.gov and take advantage of it.
So this could be another what some people could consider like the Obamacare thing. This could be like that. I don't know. I'd have to look into it
But the
more.
cost of healthcare is coming way down because of what we've done with prescription drugs.
Thank you, Mr.
And with
President.
Trump accounts,
Thank
every
you.
child in America now has access to a tax-free investment account to save for their future. Billions and billions of dollars are being invested, put in by companies and individuals to take care of our children so that at age 18, they will have potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in their account and they'll get off to a great start in life.
Yeah, and my big question is how are we going to make sure that they don't use that money for anything but what they are supposed to? That is going to be another thing that I'm kind of going to be wondering what and how Trump is going to deal with it when in due time.
So for that, go to trumpaccounts.gov and sign up your child or any child who'd like to sign up. Our previously wide open borders have been transformed into the most secure borders in the history of our country.
Yeah, all thanks to Trump because, unlike the Democrats, Trump wants a closed border. Trump wants America to be safe, not like the Democrats that don't give a shit.
With zero illegal aliens being admitted to the United States in the past 14 months. That is zero. Nobody thought it was possible.
Wow. I'm not doubting him. I think he is doing very good, but I know the Democrats are going to say a whole other complete different story to this.
We had the worst border
Yeah, we
in
did.
the history of our country, and now we have the
did.
best. Crime is plummeting nationwide with the murder rate at its lowest level since 1900 or more than
Wow.
125 years ago.
I kind of do think a little bit he's sensationalizing that number a little bit, just maybe a little bit. I I kind of am wondering if he is, but I think he is. But that's good that he's got handle on issues like that, especially now. But a lot of people are really pissed off with ICE right now because of a lot of the issues that have been going on.
We're making
And I can understand why people are pissed.
a record investment in our armed forces, and we have the strongest and most powerful military by far anywhere in the world. I built it during my first term, and unfortunately, we're forced to use it now. We won in Venezuela, which is now working with us to produce millions and millions of barrels of oil. We are likewise.
Wow. So now we're leaning on Venezuela. Let's. I wonder how long that's going to go for and how long we can last with them pumping oil for us before we end up having to owe Venezuela money.
Big in Iran.
Unless we're doing trades, which I think is absolutely probably more likely what we're doing.
And you will see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly.
I hope so.
America is back and doing really well, but we still have a major challenge that must be urgently addressed because no country can be great without fair and honest elections. You have to trust your country because if there can be no trust, there can be no greatness. And that's very simple. No trust, no greatness. For many years, I've called for bold, swift, and decisive action to protect the integrity of America's elections. Every American deserves to know that when they cast their vote, that vote will be counted accurately in a system, and that is to make that system secure.
Which another thought would be what more than likely he's probably willing to do is he's probably going to put ICE right by the voting booths so that people are not illegally voting or doing something. They're probably going to have more control of that, which is good. That is holding accountable not just the Democrats, but holding the entire system accountable to where everybody is having a fair election without worry of something bad happening.
One where cheating and interference are not just difficult, but virtually impossible. Unfortunately, the system.
And the Democrats are going to be very pissed about this because the Democrats are going to want to cheat. They will want to try to do something. They may not try this year because it would be too damn obvious, but they may or may not allegedly try to cheat again. Who knows? And if they do, of course, we can kind of suspect that it would going to be them, not us.
We have today falls catastrophically short of that standard. Tonight, I'm announcing the immediate declassification and release of critical intelligence revealing shocking vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure. This evidence shows that the election system we have dangerously exposes and really exposes like
So basically,
of that standard.
Basically, what's going to happen is they're going to release files that will show, like he said, what is going on in our election system. Good, but better question when it comes to certain other issues like that allegedly possibly or potentially happening, how are we going to stop it? You're probably asking. Well, Trump's going to do what he does, I think, to definitely stop it. It's not. It's not going to be like, oh, it's one day. Okay, it's done. It's gonna take a while.
Tonight, I'm announcing the immediate declassification and release of critical intelligence revealing shocking vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure. This evidence shows that the election system we have dangerously exposes and really exposes like levels never thought possible the hacking, exploitation, and foreign interference, just
See, and a lot of the Democrats kept saying, "Well, there was no such thing as the Russia collusion," but there actually was. There was allegedly proof that it was allegedly happening, and this is what Trump's talking about: is that we can't have stuff like this happen. We can't have Russia, Israel, Iran, Iraq, or any other country be interfering with our election process. And it's getting to that point now where people are tired of it. We notice these things. Like when it came to the Biden election, we know he didn't win allegedly fairly. That was an unfair election. He allegedly cheated. We know that Trump won. But if Trump would have won, that would have probably been his last term. So I guess there is kind of a saving grace there that Trump luckily saved us and now is in office.
disturbingly, this vital information has for many years been covered up and hidden from you, the American people, our beautiful, our great American people. But that all changes right now. The documents we will release starting tonight have been
And what about the alleged Epstein files? You're probably going to be asking. What about them? It's over. That shit's been said and done and gone. So I don't want to hear no Democrats be asking, what about the Epstein files? Shut up with that. It's long done and gone. You guys need to find something else to whine about.
gathered by the White House Government Transparency Task Force, a great group of people, along with the staff of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board, supported by our top intelligence agency chiefs, who have all personally reviewed the findings. We are presenting this evening and fully confirmed their authenticity. You can see these documents for yourself at whitehouse.gov. That's whitehouse.gov. Go
We will check it out.
check it out. Our purpose in disclosing this information is not to weaken confidence in election, but to earn that confidence by confronting vulnerability.
Sounds like he's kind of been talking a lot and his voice is getting pretty groggy, kind of hoarse. But this is good. I like this. I like to hear what Trump is doing. And now knowing that this is what we have finally started to become a country that we've always wanted, that the Democrats hate the most, it makes me proud.
And correcting them very, very quickly. And that's what we're doing. The documents cover 5 major areas of concern. First, they show that over a period of years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in
Wow. China. China. Kind of makes you wonder what those alleged databases that are now being built are for. Kind of, doesn't it?
China's illicit
What they might
acquisition
allegedly be
of
able to do with them.
220 million US voter files. That information
What?
includes names, addresses, phone numbers.
250 million. Either a million or thousand, I think he said. Wow. That's a crap ton.
There's political
That's not
party
good.
preferences and other sensitive data that
Of course, that we all know again who was allegedly part of it, Democrats.
would be needed to register to vote and engage in other nefarious activities, which is exactly what was happening. This data loss presents an unprecedented election security nightmare. The intelligence shows that China assigned a data exploitation unit specifically to this new project. Compounding the travesty, the second set of documents we are releasing reveals that members of the deep state, very, very famous group of people, many cases,
I wonder. That makes me wonder. Has Trump allegedly been listening to me lately, talking a lot about that? Probably. I think Trump has been listening to me and listening to a lot of people like me that say that kind of stuff is happening and that deep state does exist. And a lot of people that hate Trump, hate MAGA, hate America, hate conservatism, don't believe in it.
our intelligence agency worked to actively suppress and downplay information about the extent of China's sinister election meddling, covering it up from both the president and the American people like nobody thought was possible. U.S. spy agencies began learning about the compromise of voter registration files in 2020 when they discovered that tens of millions of voter data, think of that, tens of millions of voters' data in 18 states have been bought, stolen, or hacked by China.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot. That is no bueno. That is not good. We need to definitely figure out how to freaking deal with that.
Yet those responsible
For
for
sure.
sounding the alarm instead kept the information secret and hidden. They did not disclose to me as president or to anyone else, and to the best of our knowledge, they did not inform Congress. In fact, all they kept saying is, this is the most secure election in the history of our country. A standard, very pat line that was divvied out to say. The cover up of this colossal security breach is even more disturbing in light of the additional information showing that China engaged in other election related activities to undermine my first administration and our 2020 campaign. They did not want, and they just didn't want it. They fought like hell not to have it, Donald Trump, to win, and for good reason. As the documents we are releasing show, CIA reporting explicitly stated, and I quote, in mid 2018, the Chinese Communist Party's policy was to leverage all domestic and foreign elements that were opposed to the U.S. president in an effort to reduce the U.S. president's votes and make him resign or prevent his reelection. Is it
Pretty much everything he said, I think, has been true. And watch, there's going to be YouTubers, there's going to be fake news media industrial complex calling this a Klan rally or alleging that this is a Klan rally. Trump, it hasn't allegedly said anything truthful in here, but everything that he has just said is true.
that nice? Also,
brought
in
me an ice
mid
cream cone.
2018, China was working to influence the results of the U.S. midterm elections.
See, guys, it's not just allegedly Israel doing things. It's China, too. China's got a big hand in this. Xi Jinping. That's not good.
And later, the results of the 2020 presidential election itself. Separately, in mid-2019, the Chinese government's strategy against the United States was focused on undermining domestic confidence in the U.S. president. They wanted to just make you sound like your president wasn't so hot, when actually your president has done a great job, and they did everything possible to do exactly that.
Yeah. They don't like Trump. They hate him. But he's doing a lot. He's trying. I believe that Trump is trying very hard. And yeah, Trump can't do it alone, but he's got a lot of people that back him up in Congress, in Senate, in the Supreme Court, even voters, supporters, again, like I said, like us, that support him. He knows he's got people that are rooting for him.
Going on, this document says, and this is by the CIA, the strategy included efforts to use Chinese contacts with big U.S. companies to influence U.S. business leaders to turn against the President of the United States of America.
We kind of know what we're dealing with now. It's not just communism like Russian communism, it's pretty much like Chinese communism, I think, is what we're dealing with.
The Chinese government sought to identify U.S. journalists who had reported negatively on the U.S. president and pay them large sums of money to write more negative articles about him, as many as they could, and they didn't care what they said.
Well, and Mr. President, we do care about you. I do. People at conservativenewswave.com care about you. You are doing a very good job. Hell of a good job. Thank you, Mr. President.
The Chinese government wanted U.S. president to lose the next election, and the reason they wanted me to lose is because they knew I was wise to them, charged them billions and billions of dollars worth of tariffs, and built the strongest military anywhere in the world. We have to.
And here's the other thing. Democrats really don't understand how tariffs work. Yes, tariffs do tax the other side, but yes, we do kind of have to deal with some of that issue too. But in due time, if everything just balances out, it will go back to where it should be. Everything should be okay. But we know that that's not how the Democrats see it, or these libtards see it, the soy boys.
Strongest military anywhere in the world. These are exact quotes from the CIA reporting. The name of the person doing the quote is now under review, but it gets even worse. Raw intelligence obtained by the FBI in 2020, yet buried by rogue bureaucrats, stated that China's activities even included an attempt to manufacture illegal ballots for Joe Biden. Documents show that during this period, dozens of significant CIA and NSA reports about China's election targeting were kept out of the presidential briefing. These were briefings I would get almost every day.
And I wonder why they're doing that, so that Trump doesn't know about it. Because they're trying to get past him. They're trying to put everything past him to put in place what the Democrats or these people that are so against Trump want to put in place.
Thing was kept out that was of importance. One email among intelligence analysts admitted that they had, quote, deliberately massaged the presidential daily briefing to withhold information regarding Chinese activities related to the election. Another official inside the FBI wrote that she was running, quote, a shadow government, unquote, to keep intelligence about China's election meddling from becoming known and to keep it away from the honorable press. Other officials who witnessed such efforts perceived the motivations to be blatantly political. Recently, we found significant numbers of burn bags in formation, and this is a group of bags that were used to destroy information given by President Barack Hussein Obama to be burned. It was supposed to be burned. These bags were supposed to be at a different level by different.
Wow. So it may be possible Obama may be able to be facing criminal charges due to that alleged allegation right there that Trump's putting on.
People incinerated and checked, but it never happened. Maybe we got lucky. We believe this was not done on purpose, but rather through gross incompetence of the people that was supposed to burn the bag. But the findings are stunning. Today, I'm asking the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the CIA to investigate how and why such crucial information was hidden, to fire those involved in the cover-up, and to file criminal charges, if appropriate, against these people. Yet concealing China's meddling was only the beginning. The third set of documents we are releasing proves that for many years, Americans were blatantly lied to about the security of our election infrastructure, including electronic voting machines and ballot counting systems, dishonest, almost all. They're vulnerable and they're easily compromised, and people within our government knew that. Tonight, we're publishing a series of previously classified U.S. intelligence community assessments and other reports proving that our government has long known these machines are extremely exposed to attack. As one assessment states, we judge that the United States adversaries, including at a minimum Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, as well as non-state groups, have the capability to compromise U.S. election infrastructure. That's unquote, but that's some statement, isn't it? Made by supposedly great patriots of our country. The document goes on to further state that, quote, we assess that centralized election-related data repositories, such as voter registration databases, poll books, and other official election websites, are most vulnerable to exploitation, and adversaries could use this access to these systems to disrupt election processes within the United States of America. Tonight, we're releasing all of those findings and spanning from January 2020 to June 2026.
That's major problems right there. If Russia, Korea, and China can start doing election interference, then I think we know that the Democrats or anti-Trumpers, anti-American fascist socialists would have no problem buddy-buddying with those people to try to allegedly meddle with the election or interfere in the alleged, say, election, and they wouldn't care at all. It would not faze them. They wouldn't care if they got in trouble for it because they think they're doing their civic patriotic duty, fighting for democracy. It's not. That's a criminal charge.
This is a cyber threat aimed at the very heart of our democracy. Many people have questioned whether it could.
And he's using the word democracy not as a blatant kind of nanner to the other side, but he's kind of using it in a term that how do I put this? that is basically true in a way. It is kind of way of him saying, yeah, this is truly what's going on, or this is truly what it is.
Actually be possible.
But even though we're not really a democracy state, we're kind of a constitutional republic. Trump just wants to use words, not always, but uses words so that it makes it understandable and people can relate to, I guess.
To
That's what I
electronically
think.
manipulate vote totals or change election results on these terrible machines. Today, we are releasing documents that show the CIA obtained reporting of a specific plot to do a big number in favor of the corrupt Maduro regime in Venezuela. And that's exactly what happened, conspiring to digitally rig their own country's elections in 2020. And that's what they did. This reporting included precise details about methods to regime develop to digitally alter vote totals in ways that could not be detected even with an audit, no matter how deep they went. This intelligence underscores why we must take urgent action to ensure that our own system can never, ever be hacked or compromised like it was in the past.
I would hope that we can do something to get that dealt with, but I do have concerns with how that is going to happen because I know the other side is not going to like it. The people that hate Trump so much are going to hate it a lot because they don't understand that this is what needs to be done to secure our system. And our system, if it is allegedly hackable or people are able to meddle into it and throw the election off onto one side or the other, then yeah, I think definitely um, more security should be acquired for our voting system.
The fourth set of documents reveals that even when significant evidence of fraud has been detected, it has been buried and covered up. Among the disclosures tonight are FBI files detailing evidence of alleged fraud by a large-scale voter registration operation in Michigan. In 2020, Michigan State Police raided a Democrat Get Out the Vote organization, corrupt group in
Democrat. Of course, we knew that.
Muskegon. And we're so concerned by what they found. They were just so concerned. They couldn't believe it, actually, that they contacted the FBI in Detroit. The documents state that some canvassers admitted to FBI agents that they signed voter registration forms in other people's names, submitted fraudulent registration for people who did not exist, and received gift cards tied to their number of applications that they produced. In other words, it was pay, play, and cheat. The FBI agents working on the case believe that crimes were committed, yet the Biden Department of Justice slow walked the investigation and killed it. Tonight, I'm asking the FBI director to ensure that the matter is fully investigated and to work with the Department of Justice to prosecute those responsible for any crimes. Finally, to reveal just how vulnerable our elections continue to be, we are releasing the results of a stunning investigation by the Department of Homeland Security. According to the DHS review, state voter rolls and public records, they identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections.
Wow.
Since Democrat states refuse to share their voter files, the real number is actually much higher than that. Yet, even this limited analysis found more than 250,000 foreigners illegally registered to vote. Put together, these disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly defend it. It is not defensible. Hundreds of millions of U.S. voter files are in the hands of foreign governments. Our machines and ballot counting systems are exposed to hacking and manipulation and corruption. China and other countries have been trying to meddle in our elections. Evidence of fraud has been buried. Hundreds of thousands of non-citizens and dead people are listed and active on the voter rolls. And yet we still have elections with no voter ID, no proof of citizenship, and tens of millions of ballots floating aimlessly through the mail. As one example of the insanity, California's recent election for mayor of LA and governor was held on June 2nd, long time ago, but it was just completed a few days ago on July 10th. Think of that, much more than 1 month. Took a month to count the votes. I wonder what they were doing. This is worse than any third world country. There's no third world country that has elections like we have. In a rare move, NBC and ABC Fake News have both said that they would not cover this speech. They knew what it was about because of the fact that they don't like the topic, because they know how corrupt our system is and that they don't want to reveal it.
And it's not just that, it's also because they know that Trump's going to expose them if they don't do it. So, is MSNBC, ABC talking about this? I don't know. I haven't seen anything yet, but I will look on it. But yeah, they know that Trump's going to call this shit out, and they know that Trump's not going to allow this. And this is what needs to be said. And what Trump's saying definitely is something definitely, yeah, that I can see MSNBC, ABC, CNN not doing. Because one, they don't like Trump. They don't like what he's doing. They don't like what he says. They don't like how he's going to address these things. And it hurts their feelings. It really does. It hurts their freaking feelings. Because they don't like that Trump is bringing attention the truth of how disgusting these things are and how corrupt people are nowadays.
They and others in the
It's
media are
sad.
part of a plot. They want to continue this fraud for whatever reason. They want to keep it.
Oh, we know why, Mr. President, because they don't like you. Because you're doing a damn good job and they don't like that you're doing a damn good job. And you need to keep it up.
Going. They want to protect the radical left. They can't have a great country, and that's true. You can't have a great country without free and fair elections.
That's true. Free and fair elections. That is what makes our country great, is that we do have a free and fair election process. And it's sad that the radical left, these anti-American, anti-Trumpers, anti-conservatives, hate our country. It's really sad. But we know why they hate it, and we know why they won't ever leave it. We've talked a lot about it.
Fraud like this should mean a revocation of their licenses. They use our public multi-billion-dollar in value airways for absolutely no money. They pay nothing. All we want is honesty in our elections and honesty in reporting. They pay nothing for multi-billion-dollar assets. Great damage has been done to our country. Our elections were left vulnerable to being rigged and stolen, and the trust of the American people was lost. This cannot be allowed to continue ever.
I like that he's talking about this, but I would love for him to kind of talk a little bit more about like what's going on with not just deportation economically, but also like what's going on with gas. How much gas do we have left, or how much oil do we have left? How much, what do we have that right now we need to focus on, and what do we need to do to replenish our system so that we have our system is full of like gas and oil and stuff like that, and what we need for our country, and what we need to, like I just said, replenish with, to make sure that we have everything so that we're not just stuck and screwed at some point. Because when he leaves office, and if the Democrats at any time decide to take over, they may deprive us of our gas and our oil and things that we need. So we need to be ready, um, and we need to make sure that Trump is on that, and he sounds like he's doing it. But I just wish again he would talk a little bit more into detail about it.
The American, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent, or otherwise, should be able
I know, Paul, he wasn't talking about you.
to agree that we deserve the most secure, honest, and fair election system anywhere in the world. Secure elections should be a partisan, really, we should be together. Democrats, Republicans, Independents, everybody. And it should not be a partisan issue. It should cause to unite us, not to divide us. This should.
I think Trump has been listening to me a little bit lately, and it's starting to kind of be noticeable in certain ways he's talking and bringing some alleged things up. I think it is true. I think he has been listening to me, so that's good if he has.
Be a cause. We should be united, not divided. In light of the brand new and irrefutable information I have revealed tonight, my administration is in the process of notifying the states whose election data was compromised by the People's Republic of China and many others. We will be working closely to mitigate any harm, and we're taking swift action to ensure that sensitive voter data is better protected so we can never be bought, we can never be hacked, and we can never watch a stolen election again.
And again, I have a feeling that I know a lot of people like Paul, the little crybaby, and CNN, Joy Reid, MSNBC, Young Turks, all these anti-Trumper, anti-American people are going to say, "Oh, he's just talking about the election fraud, which never did allegedly happen, and he proved it by now he's putting out data that's statistically showing how much of this issue is really happening, and how other countries are capitalizing off of our election by doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And now that there's going to be some data, it's going to make a lot of people look stupid when they try to open their mouth and say, "Oh, that isn't true," or "Oh, that's just allegedly sensationalized." Yeah, you tell me how allegedly sensationalized that is. When we've been telling you all along, we told you so, but you never pay attention to us. And Trump is now telling you, we told you so. We told you that this election was what was going on in the last election with him and Biden, Sleepy Joe. We've been telling you this a long time, but now you wanted facts? Well, guess what? Now Trump is putting it out there so you guys can go and look for it.
Tomorrow, the Secretary of Homeland Security will hold a briefing to outline his department's recent work confirming cyber vulnerabilities in our electronic voting systems. They are bad. We're in the process of informing governors, senators, and members of Congress of potential issues in their states. If you look at voting today, it's in such bad shape in so many states.
It is. It is.
and we are committing to fix
It's
it.
really bad.
And we're also committing to be working with those states and local jurisdictions to help them fix and patch known technical vulnerabilities before the midterm elections. We have the
What's up? So this makes me kind of wonder now, how are we going to do this? Because um, the biggest problem is we would literally have to have like really, really freaking secured data to do such thing. I don't know how long that would take to create a secure data to and website or whatever to protect our voting online registration for voting, but um, message me later. Um, I'll answer that question later. But how long will it take for this to actually get done?
very
Because we need it now more than ever.
important elections coming up. We want those elections, to be honest. I've also ordered DHS to notify every state about non-citizens on their voter rolls and direct them to remove all ineligible voters from the lists immediately.
And a lot of people are going to ask, well, how do you know if they're eligible or not eligible? That's the great thing about the government. Not really, but they know. They have data, whether you're here legally or illegally, or you are registered to vote or you're not. They can tell. So it's not going to be a big problem.
But most importantly, addressing this crisis of election security demands that Congress must pass the Save America Act. How easy is that to do?
And the Save American Act bill definitely is something that should get passed. A lot of anti Americans, anti Trumpers, anti conservatives are not wanting to pass. They are afraid of it. They think it's racist. They hate it because they have no freaking clue what it really is that Save the Act bill is. I do. And I've read a little bit about it, but what I've read about it, it's pretty good. It needs to be passed.
Unless you want to cheat. The only reason you wouldn't do it is you want to cheat because your policies are so bad and your candidates are so pathetic that you can't.
I will say this, that Trump is really on, he's on one tonight. But I understand why he's talking about the voter registration stuff more and more because we're coming into midterms and 2028 election is not but too far, or the next elections are coming up, and it's going to be something that people have to understand that we got to deal with now.
Get away or can't get elected any other way. This landmark bill requires that all voters must show voter ID. How simple is that?
Oh, but showing voter ID is racist, allegedly, to the Democrats or to the anti American, the anti Trumpers, the anti conservatives. It's racist. So, Orange Man bad, kind of what they've always been saying. And they're just going to continue with this. They're going to belittle Trump about this whole thing that he's done tonight, the whole conversation. They're going to try to get on him about it. and get on us about it. But we need to stand firm and remember that these are things that are what's really important to keep our country secure.
Could I have your photo, please? Well, thank you very much. To own technical vulnerabilities before the midterm elections. We have very important elections coming up. We want those elections to be honest. I've also ordered DHS to notify every state about non-citizens on their voter rolls and direct them to remove all ineligible voters from the lists immediately. But most importantly, addressing this crisis of election security demands that Congress must pass the Save America Act.
We do. We need to pass it.
How easy is that to do unless you want to cheat? The only reason you wouldn't do it is you want to cheat because your policies are so bad and your candidates are so pathetic that you.
Like I said, I just think that Trump honestly kind of did prove his point in the beginning, and he should have moved on a little bit more with other stuff. But this is good that we're starting to hear more progress being done.
Can't get away or can't get elected any other way. This landmark bill requires that all voters must show photo voter ID. How simple is that? Could I have your photo, please? Photo voter ID. All voters must provide proof of citizenship. Are you a citizen of our country, please? And hopefully there will be no.
Oh Lord, asking somebody if they're a citizen is racist to the left. So watch how the left are gonna go absolutely batshit nuts with this one.
Corrupt mail-in
They're
ballot,
going to literally go batshit nuts over this.
which if you watched California and so many other places, mail-in ballots are inherently corrupt. So
Of course, I would suspect all in California. Yeah, I suspect in California that to be a big issue.
you would have no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military deployment, or travel if you're going away on business or vacation. These reforms are urgently needed to stop the vulnerabilities that I've mentioned. To all Americans, I ask you to pick up your phone tomorrow, call your representatives in the House and Senate, and demand that they pass the Save America Act without delay. Together, we will restore faith and confidence in our country, and we will be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our great military. And God bless America. Thank you very much.
I honestly liked it. I think Trump did a very good job. Like I said, he could have done a little bit better. Um, for as long as the speech was, he kind of did repeat a lot of what he said, and he was trying to emphasize in a lot of things he said, understandably. But honestly, I think Trump did fantastic. So, you guys, that's it for today. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check me out on Rumble, X, aka Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.